YouTube. This is Vern from Living Off Grid in the Last Frontier. Today I'm going to talk to you about water. Every property needs it, and some people have a real problem getting it to their property. They have to haul it in, or they have to collect it through rainwater. But there is another possibility that a lot of properties out there could actually use, and it's called a seep well or a shallow well. Now, the best way to find out if you're a good candidate for this is to rent a backhoe or an excavator and dig a hole. It's called a perk test. You're going to dig a hole about 6-8 feet deep and just watch it and see if you get water in it. Now, if you don't get any water after about 6-8 feet, you're not a good candidate. If you do get water, then you watch it, let it sit overnight and see how much water you end up with. You measure it to see how long it takes to get that far. And that can determine whether you would be a good candidate. Now see, when a well driller drills for water, they just drill down into the ground until they find a pocket. And that pocket's full of water. What you're essentially going to do is make your own pocket at the surface. So if you do one of these perk tests and you end up with water, then what you do is you backfill it with gravel, got a pipe down in the middle of it, backfill it with gravel, and then put dirt over the top of it. And you've essentially built yourself one of those pockets that the well driller is looking for. Now there are systems that you put into place, like a pump that has a float switch on it. So when the water level gets too low in the well, then it shuts the pump off, doesn't burn it up. And then when it gets high enough, then it'll turn the pump back on. So what you're going to do is take this water and put it into a storage tank. And the storage tank is also going to have a level device on it. So when it drops below half full, it'll send power to the pump, turn the pump on, and it'll fill it back up. Now since it's a seep well, it's going to only put in a few gallons at a time. It could put in 20 gallons at a time. It depends on how much water you got or that you can collect in the pocket that you've made. Then it'll shut the pump off and wait till it fills back up. But during a non-use period, that water could all be going into a storage tank of 50 to 100 gallons. I mean, mine's only 25 gallons. But I live alone. I don't use a lot of water. But if you have a bigger family, you might have to have 100 gallons. But this seep well, by turning off and on and putting water into your storage tank all night long, it could get you that 100 gallons. So during your period of high use, when everybody's taking showers and you're doing dishes, doing laundry, you've got that reservoir that you could draw from. There's lots of information out there on seep wells, and you might want to look into them. Maybe do the perk test first and see how much water you get. Now, my property, I happen to be lucky. I sit on a wetlands. My water is 2 or 3 inches below the surface on most of my property. Now on the island that I sit on, it's about 6 foot above that area. So I don't have to worry about flooding or anything, and my well goes down about 12 feet. But all the rest of my property, boy, you can go down 6 inches and hit water, which is nice because you got real fast recovery. It makes it impossible to put in any kind of sewage systems, and in wet years, like it looks like we're getting ready to go through right now, the rest of my property is probably going to flood. But I'm up here high enough, it's not going to be a problem. As long as I don't lose any roads, it won't be a problem.